So I put up a community poll and asked my viewers what they want to know more about Curseborne, and they chose character creation. Now, if you're familiar with Storypath Ultra, you probably know much about what this character creation is going to look like. But if you're not familiar with Storypath Ultra, please continue on and we will go through this step by step. Starting with number 1, your concept. This is sort of a guidepost for what type of character you as a player want to create. It has no mechanical bearing on anything. However, if you're playing a hacker type character, you might find yourself leaning more towards taking hacker-based skills and attributes, something that would benefit your character greatly, and focusing on character options that fit the concept you want to be playing. The next 3 steps are selecting your paths. The first one is your lineage path. This gives you access to 2 torments, which are essentially your negative roleplay effects that you can invoke to get momentum into your momentum pool as a team. Momentum's a resource that's spent to turn failures into successes and to add enhancement to certain roles if you feel like you haven't hit the number of hits you need to succeed on the roll. Additionally, you are going to get access to your special ability from your lineage. This can be stuff like your wild form for a primal, your fast casting for being a sorcerer, and things of that nature. Your damnation is a negative side effect you get from going to 0 curse dice on your character. This is something that usually has a narrative negative effect, but also can limit your access to certain spells. Or in the case of sorcerers, it means that you are constantly casting with complications that could affect people and objects and things around you, such as sacrificing things that you do not mean to be sacrificing. If you choose Lineage Path as your major path, you will get an inheritance. This is a special ability that is more geared towards your lineage. For instance, I believe if you choose the lineage path for Hungry, that gives you access to some sort of regeneration that you wouldn't normally have if you chose your family's family path as your major path. Going onto your family path, you are going to get access to your motif, which is essentially a special ability that helps reduce the cost of some spells, or maybe even gives you additional effect when you cast certain spells. And you get access to a secret spell, which is a spell from another lineage that your family specifically has access to that no one else does. And then you select your role path. Now, your paths also dictate your skills and attributes. If you take a major path, you are going to, well, you have to take a major path. Your major path is going to give you 6 dots of skills that you can apply across 3 path skills associated with that path. So if your major path is something like Primal, you have a skill access of melee, I think it's melee combat, and you could just put like 5 ranks into your melee combat. If you're playing something like, say, a sorcerer, I think they get access to Esoterica. You could put 5 of those 6 ranks, you could put 5 into Esoterica and things of that nature. Now, as a minor path, you only get 3 dots to distribute across your 3 path skills. And then, so you are limited to only 3 path skills, even as a major and minor, but you get more skill ranks depending if it's a major or a minor. Attributes-wise, you're going to get essentially broken down. You're going to get attribute ranks for each arena of the attribute. So the arenas are mental, physical, and social. Some of the minor paths only give you like a few dots in 2 attributes as opposed to spreading across all 3, but your major attributes are going to distribute across all 3. Even then, all attributes start at 1 rank, So you're never going to have 0 ranks in an attribute. Each of the different arenas of attributes has 3 attributes associated with it. I believe you have intellect, cunning, and resolve. And then you have dexterity, might, stamina. And then you have presence, manipulation, composure for the social. And those are the attributes. If you choose a major path, either your lineage or family path to be a major path, you're going to get access to an inheritance, which is a special ability linked to your lineage or your family. The family paths are more tied to the specific character type you're playing as, whereas the lineage path is more like generically what your lineage is about. For instance, the hungry lineage path is very much about giving you like undead vitality and regeneration to your health, whereas the lineage path for, say, like the Bathorite, the family inheritance for the Bathorites is something along the lines of smearing blood across your face so that you can clear status conditions. Next up, for number 5, you get to add extras. So these are things like you get 4 skill dots that you can distribute across any of the skills, even ones that aren't path skills. You get 5 dots to distribute across 3 contacts that you have. These contacts are typically associated with your paths. So you might have someone in your lineage who is a family friend. You might have a family path contact who is your mentor, your sire, or like your little brother, or things of that nature. Your role path might have a coworker or something of that nature. And the dots associated, or the ranks associated with those contacts, is going to be an enhancement bonus to a die roll associated with that contact. So if you have someone who's a mentor and you're talking about something that your mentor is familiar with, you might be able to roll a intellect plus enigmas roll and add your contacts enhancement to that roll. Additionally, you're going to have 7 sort of boxes of health across 3. You have 7 boxes of health, injury boxes. Each of them is two. They're grouped together in 2s, so 2 injury boxes per rank, with the last one, which is just 1, being you taken out. At the first level, you're going to get a +1 die roll to any dice that you roll for skill checks and things of that nature. Once you get to the second layer filled out, you're going to get +2 dice. This is sort of an adrenaline bonus that you're going to get. There are more effects later on, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because this is character creation. The defenses for your character, everyone's defenses are defense 1 and integrity 1. This does change during gameplay in that you will roll your stamina or roll your resolve and composure for or composure for integrity. So you roll your stamina and add it to your defense depending on how many hits you get. Additionally, you're going to get your entanglement level. Typically, this is going to be Entanglement 1 for starting characters. There are rules for starting at higher entanglement levels in the core book up to level 4. Now, Entanglement 1 characters will get access to 5 curse dice maximum. Every story, you will start with 1 curse die, but you can get up to a maximum of 5. These dice act as a resource that can be spent on spells or sort of a key to unlock passive spells. There's a thing called holding curse die, which means if you have, like, say, 2 curse die in your pool and you have them being held, you can now cast this one spell, and you can cast it indefinitely so long as you still have 2 curse die in your pool. After that, we go to step number 6. You're going to get 5 dots worth of edges, and then you are going to get 3 spells from either your spell practices, which are dictated usually by your lineage, but can also be dictated by your family if you're playing a sorcerer, or your secret spells from your family. Next up, you get to choose your bonds with other player characters. You start with a level 2 bond with one player character, and then the rest of the player characters are only level 1 bonds. This represents how friendly you are with or how connected you are to another player character. It doesn't necessarily have to be identical across. That could mean anything like you look up to someone, but they might not look up to you, or they might not consider you someone worth the same level of connection. However, you will get a bond enhancement, I believe, for teamwork actions involving that character, which is nice. Lastly, step number 8, you are going to get 2 short-term aspirations, which are goals for your character. These can be used to gain XP by completing them. They're usually like a goal such as kill an enemy, maybe convince someone you're someone else, things of that nature. And then you have one long-term aspiration. A long-term aspiration can be something like get a promotion or be considered worthy of your family name and things of that nature. It can be a little bit more out there and have a lot more steps to complete, but it's going to take a while to get to that point. Additionally, which isn't really part of character creation, but is more of like crew creation, you have one shared crew aspiration. What this dictates is essentially the goal that all of the player characters have together, and it can help with, say, dictating the goal of the story that the story guide is trying to present in the game, or it could be something a little bit different, like, oh, create a safe house that all of us can use, and things of that nature. That's really it for character creation. I'm not going to go too much into detail about like individual spells or character options. If you're like me and you were sold on Curseborne and you want to check it out, please use the link below to go to the Kickstarter page. I don't get anything from this, but you can get the manuscript if you back at the $5 level. If you buy at, I think, the $25 level, you get access to the PDF as well when it finally comes out. You can play the game with the manuscript. It will be a sort of will be a PDF that's kind of like a Microsoft Word format, as opposed to actually laid out with artwork and things. But you'll be able to get going right away, and you'll know 99% of the rules until the errata comes in and they've updated it for the final printing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good one, and I'm going to put something up here that is Curseborne related because I really like it.